Voices that inspire, conversations that matter. Podcasts, Innovation and Change NYC. Follow us and become part of our global community of dialogue, ideas, and change.
Hello, I am Nanuka. It's a pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest. Barbara's work integrates humor, art, love as a unified pathway to well-being, and she continues to empower others globally through her initiative of ordaining Gestures of the Peace to bring humor and wellness into their own communities. Barbara, from a broader systems perspective, humor can be both constructive and harmful depending on its use. How do we navigate this complexity? How can humor be applied responsibly in social and professional contexts?
I'm really glad we're bringing this question back around because laughing with each other versus at each other is one of the most pivotal differences in being able to use humor for love. And we think about kids, they're on the playground, they're saying, blah, blah, nya, nya, like the things that kids make fun of each other. However, I have found that it's possible to shift a room, even of adults, if, say someone falls down and others are making fun of them, like, you fell down, but that you can see that the person's not laughing too. You can see that if the person's laughing too and they're in on it, great. If everyone's laughing equally. However, if the person who fell, if they're not, if you can see it on someone's face, like they're wincing a little bit, or you can see it in their eyes, or you can see it in their body language. If you can see that they don't feel good about this, it's possibly like, oh yeah, you know what? When I was in 4th grade, I fell off the stage while I was playing the violin, and nobody ever let me forget it for 16 years, which is actually true. I did fall off the stage while playing the violin in the orchestra because I was looking at, this is when I was like 10 or something. I was looking at boys on the other side of the orchestra who are also playing the violin, and I fell off the stage while I was doing that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But you can hear in my voice that I think that's super funny now. But if in this situation I can say, oh yeah, you fell. I remember when I fell. And this silly story about my violin, which I've told many, many times, and people still bring it up to me when I go to reunions. It's possible to diffuse all of the tension in the room by doing that. Because if you show compassion for the person who's we might say the butt of the joke, or the person who's being made fun of, it's possible to change the energy by sharing a story that relates to what has happened for them, and the whole room can shift. And not every time, many times, and it's worth trying.
What about in terms of evaluation? How can we understand whether humor is improving our quality of life? How do we measure its impact?
The way to measure the impact of humor is, do we feel more peaceful with our life journey? We all know inside ourselves whether we're at peace with ourselves or not. Are we at peace? Are we at greater peace with the people around us? Do we take action, like my friend who decided to learn swimming? Do we take action where we might not have in the past? That's one of the best ways to know is, are we doing something that we might not have done in the past because something hurt and now we've been able to free it through laughter? I have another story where a woman, she was probably in her 30s when this happened. She came to an experience I was holding about self-expression, and she took the stage and she presented some of the story of her life. And at the end, she revealed that she hadn't been willing to speak publicly since she was 5 years old because one of her mentors or a teacher or something gave her the idea that she wasn't good at it. And so she held herself back for, that would have been about 30 years, and then went on to speak more and be a leader and have more leadership in her life. And it's not necessarily that moment. It's not that my moment on the stage with her did that. It's that people are ready for transformation. And when people are ready for transformation, if they happen across an experience that's both tender and humorous, or serious and funny, then they can use it as transformation. It could have been mine, it could have been someone else's, but she was able to use the humorous moment in order to make that transformation in her life because she was ready for transformation. And I just over the years have studied and practiced creating an environment where if someone is ready for transformation, they have the possibility of having it here with me, with laughter and humor and well-being and art.
How do you think, what should individuals focus on right now in integrating humor into their lives?
I think it starts with letting humor be possible. And sometimes when someone is in a tremendous amount of pain, it can seem like humor is not possible. And in that case, it's just important to be patient and know that it could be coming in the future. And so it's compassionate, it's kind. Laughing with each other is kind and it shows up right on time. You can't force open a flower. You can't force laughter. You can't force the humor to show up. We just wait like the cycles of the earth. Spring arrives when it arrives. The first laugh arrives when it arrives. We can just hold each other knowing that it's possible. And then once it has arrived, to amplify it, to celebrate it. As the flower blooms, the laughter grows louder. As the colors pop in the spring, the joy in the heart can be a bit more free. And so if we imagine that the heart is like a flower about a story and that the bud is the first laugh and then the full bloom is being able to actually be seen by another person and being able to laugh with a story that was hard then that's funny now. Or using any of the arts. I mean, there's humor in dance, there's humor in theater, there's humor in visual art, there's humor in writing. Any of the art forms can bring it. To be able to know that it's important and real and true and necessary and deeply natural to laugh with the journey of life, to integrate that as part of the daily life, whether we find any today or not, to talk about it with others, to share those stories that are hard then that are funny now. Those are some of the things. It's about having humor in the medicine cabinet also. Next to everything else is put humor in the medicine cabinet. That's one of the aims that I have with all this work, is to help people put humor in the medicine cabinet for generations.
Yes, it's true. Humor is not secondary. It's essential to connection, resilience, and well-being. Thank you so much, Barbara, being with us today.
Thank you for joining Innovation and Change NYC. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please follow us for more.
Voices rising up, sharing stories you see.